Okay, so let's start where we left off yesterday and we'll continue with the same. Okay, so let me open a Jupyter notebook. Okay, so I'm just going to the Jupyter notebook, click on new Python 3. Right now, see one important thing here. If you go to this section, this is the one cell which is available right now. Okay, actually, this cell can behave three different ways. Understand, everyone? This cell can behave three different ways. One, as a code cell, means you will write your Python code and you will execute that. You will write your Python code and you will execute that code. Okay. Second way, it can behave as a text cell. It can behave as a text cell. For the text cell, actually, two options are there. If you go here, this window that we can see where the code is mentioned, Markdown and heading. Okay, so for the if you want to treat them as a pure text, I'll tell you what is the purpose of the Markdown and heading within few minutes only, right? So if you want to mark some text there, then you will use Markdown and heading. Okay, and actually this raw NB convert is for different purpose. Suppose you write something in this text. So what this raw NB convert is basically used, understand, to convert this IPNB file into different format if you want to convert. Suppose this is your IPYNB file, that is interactive Python notebook file. You want to convert into .py file, or you want to convert into the PDF, or you want to convert into the HTML. If you want to convert those into a different formats, actually, for that purpose, this NB convert is basically used. Okay, so it will be rarely used, but you will be using code, Markdown, and heading. Okay, even if you just remember heading is also, if you use the heading also, it will be under the Markdown only. Don't worry. Let me show you that. Okay. So suppose why this is actually required. Coding we know we to write when we write to write the code. Okay. But actually, what Jupyter has done, Jupyter has given you an awesome feature or of making your notes. For example, not only writing your code, mean traditional way you are writing your code, this is a code file which is available. You are presenting it to someone, right? You have you want to document it properly, or several of you may be submitting assignment to someone, or you are creating your own assignment somewhere. Okay, for that purpose, you need to write something notes over there. For that purpose, actually, that's Markdown and heading option is there. Okay, and very simple process is there. Just suppose I click on this icon, right? Right now it is visible as code. Just click on M here. I'm just clicking on this icon, means this cell is selected. I'm just clicking on M. Okay, on my keyboard. I'm just clicking on M on this my keyboard. Okay, see this. Can you see? Automatically this changed to Markdown, right? And now suppose I want to go back to the code cell. I will press Y. I'm back to the code. Okay, these are the shortcuts which is available. Means quickly you want to convert a cell into a text cell, or you want to convert your text cell into the code cell. Simple. I repeat once again. This cell is selected. Right now it's a code cell. I want to make it as a Markdown cell. I'll press M. It get converted into the Markdown cell, right? If I want to convert it back to what? To back to my codes, then I will press Y. It is back again. Okay, now let's me come. First of all, although we will be doing huge amount of coding, but let's understand the importance of Markdown. What the Markdown will be important. So okay, let me press M. Although you can select from here also, does not matter. Okay, suppose first of all I want to write a heading. Everything here, understand, whatever we will write will be treated as a text. But see how awesome the text can become. Like you are reading in a notes in a Word file or something like that. Suppose I want to give you some instruction, okay? Or I want to give you some assignment. So how will I write? I will press one hash. I will press one hash here, okay? Or one pound symbol, whatever you call it as, right? Give some space. And understand one important thing. The more hashes you put, the smaller your text will become. Okay, means you want to control the font of the text that you are about to write. The more hashes you will put, for example, I put one more hash. Just keep an eye on the size of the hash, everyone. Can you observe? Let me put one more. Can you observe? Please see, everyone. I'm repeating once again. I just push one font symbol. This is one font symbol. I put one more font symbol. Can you see the size? I put one more font symbol. Can you see the size? Okay, so depending upon what level of heading you want, you can control from this. So suppose I put only one font, give some space. Okay, and now type. Suppose I'm saying welcome to our first Python file example. Okay, press enter. Right, this is our main heading if it is available, right? This is our main heading. Then I want to write, okay, normal text. I hope you are, or let me give some space, that will be better in between the two lines. I hope you are equally excited as me. Okay. I hope you are equally excited me and you will participate with, and now suppose I want to mark something in the bold. Okay. I want to mark something in a bold. So I want to type participate with full zeal. Okay. Full zeal. So full zeal I want to put in, suppose bold. So what I can do, I can put two asterisks. Yes. I mention full zeal. You see this asterisk will go and your file will become awesome file. Just keep observing, right? And I close this. Yes. So this will be in bold, right? Now I want to write after these classes, you should focus on. Now suppose what I want something in italic, right? So I am typing this time 1 star. Okay. Focus on practice, right? I focus on practice. So now you see it has become italic right now. Okay. So these two has make it bold. This has make it italic, but don't worry, these symbols will be gone. Once I will execute this cell, these symbols will be gone. But just see, I'm just formatting. Okay. Now move ahead. Keep an eye everything. Okay. Now I want to put further instructions. Okay. But not at the same font which is available at the top. So little lesser font. Okay. So I'm putting font symbol, one more font symbol. Okay. 2 font symbol. So some lesser in size of the alphabet. There are some instructions for you to follow. Okay, I put a colon. Colon is your choice you want to put. Now suppose what I want to put something in points. So I mention 1 dot, okay, and give some space. Remember what I'm saying, whatever I'm saying, follow that. Okay, give some space given. The moment I give some space, the color change to 1. Okay, and now I'm mentioning attend. First instruction is attend all the classes regularly. Okay, attend all the classes regularly. First instruction. Second instruction, submit your assignments through GitHub. Okay, submit your assignment through GitHub. That point. Once more, I'm writing. I'm saying that while completing your assignments, ensure to remove plagiarism. Okay, fourth point. If flag is found, it will be considered as malpractice. Okay, something like this I write. But suppose I want further sub points, malpractice. Okay, these are the points which I write. Okay, but I want to write sub points within the point. See everyone, just see. Okay, I give some space. Move here. I put 1 number. I mention all the classes regularly. Okay, but due to some reason, you are not able to attend class. Watch the video. Okay, follow along with the class. Okay, and just see everyone, whatever I am doing, you will see once I will execute the way it is going to become. Okay, something. Let me execute till this point. Okay, just till this point. Let me execute this and just observe everyone. What has happened? This has become my main heading, right? Then I wrote some text. Then I put some subheading, which is lesser in font in comparison to the previous. And how I control the font? By using 2 hash symbols. The more hash symbol I will put one after the another, my font will start decreasing because you don't have an option of controlling the font otherwise, right? Similarly, what I did, remember, I put some points here. But remember, if you see properly, I put it here. And if you can remember, here I put 2 stars. Can you recall, everyone? To control it bold, but it is bold, but those stars have gone. See, I just put 2 stars here. I just put it 2 stars here, right? And to make it bold. So it has become bold, but those stars are not visible. Okay. Similarly, I put 1 star here, 1 star here to make it italic. So it has become italic, but that star is not visible. Even one thing you observed, when I put it this, let me just click it back again. I'm back again. Just click that back. I'm back again to the same thing. See, I put it 2 stars. Those stars are not visible there. I put it even a single star that is not visible there. Even I put these two, okay, with the mention 1 and 2. Okay, so see how smartly your markdown is able to recognize. Okay, this is sub points. So instead of giving 1 and 2, let me give them some other name. Let's see what it is giving. See, A and B. It smartly recognizes points. Your points are number 1, 2, 3, 4. So it should be numbered like A and B. Why am these telling you? Because when I will give you some assignments to work on, okay, you have to mention your finding this way. You have to mention your findings this way. And this is actually you will present your project work anywhere you are going to work. This is how you will present your work. Not simple typing the code and you are giving the code to them. No, this is not the way to run. You have to make your notebook proper. Okay, everything should be mentioned. Why you have done this, why you have done this, why you have done this, so that anybody who reads your code, okay, should be able to understand what you have done. That's what I'm telling you. See, smartly it is able to recognize this is A and B. Let me do one thing. Suppose I instead of 1 and 2, I want to put bullets here. Okay, I want to put bullets. So what I should mention here minus. Okay, here also minus. Here also minus. Okay, here also minus. Here also minus. Here also minus. Right? And let me execute this. Just observe right now, put a minus, minus, minus. You will see bullet points here once I execute it. See everyone. Right? So this is dot bullet, bullet, bullet. But how smartly see it has made a rectangular bullet over here. To distinguish that, it is a sub point. It's not a regular point. Out of these, attend, submit, while, if, these are regular point, but this is what? Sub points. So smartly recognize and made them bold. No, not bold, rectangular, your bullets. Right? Similarly, suppose something you want to mention further. Example. Okay. I'm coming here. I'm further mentioning something. Suppose again that. And I mentioned something like while writing the code, ensure code looks clean. Okay. Code looks clean. I want to mention something like this. I want to give them a sample of the code. Okay. How the code will look like means the way the Python treats with the keywords. So keywords should be of the same color. I want to give them a code like look. Okay. So what I should do is understand. If you go to your laptop or your desktop, above the tab, there is a symbol, this one. This is, we call it backtick. This. Put 3 ticks. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Mention here Python. Mention here Python. Okay. And after this, write your code. After this, write your code. Okay. See, like I am writing a simple code def, a simple program I'm creating right now. Hello. A very simple. Okay. And which will do nothing but print hello world. Okay, I'm done. Okay, means this is telling you, okay, you are about to write your Python code, so treat it like a Python code. This is actually an indication you are going to give to the markdown. Okay, just mention here, and once you're done, okay, my thing is done, I'm done with it. I want to just mention, okay, the code should look like clean. I'm giving an example of the code. Okay, so come here, just close it by again using backticks. Okay, so now whatever you will write will not be considered as a code portion. Okay, you can write it like this, normal text. See, the colors are there, but here the simple black colors is coming. Okay, so I can suppose delete it and execute this once again. Just observe how it is looking like. It is looking like a code. Okay, it is looking like a code. Perfect, the way you want to present. And especially it is good for those people who are as a faculty member. They want to give some assignment on the Python to someone. How can you create your notes? How can you give them hints available for this purpose? Right? Similarly, suppose I want to give them a link. Okay, there are huge options available, but if only you know these much, these are ample sufficient, whatever I'm telling you. If you know even these much, these are ample for you, because you can do everything what you want to do, right? These are ample. If you can remember all these things, these are very, very good. Example, I want to give some link here. Okay, some link. So whether he clicks for the link, that should take as a link, right? So suppose I'm saying, let's take an example. Just I'm giving an example, right? So I'm mentioning here, Flipkart, or for shopping. Let me mention this way, for shopping, or let me give a heading 1, 2, 3 subheading, right? Or furthermore. Okay, so I mention for shopping, visit the F site mentioned below. Okay, and what I did here, I put example Flipkart. I just put a name like Flipkart in a square bracket. Okay, after the square bracket, I put parentheses, normal parentheses, and here I pasted the link of the Flipkart. So let me just go here, flipkart.com. Or you want to give the link to your, you have a website you are maintaining, you want to give that link of that website, you can just copy this. Okay, come to where we were working, just paste there, close it. You won't see this link, right? You won't see this link. This will become a hyperlink automatically. Let me execute this and see this has become a hyperlink now. If I click on this link, it will open Flipkart for me, right? It will open a Flipkart me. So without learning any HTML or any other language, you can create awesome document. Sorry. Just a second. I think my screen has gone. Let me again share with you. Just a second, everyone. What just happened? I hope I'm back again, everyone. Is my screen visible, everyone?
Yes, sir, it is
Sir.
visible.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay, so I hope you get an idea how benefit this Markdown thing can be. Okay, so always whenever you are working on a project, keep proper documentation. Keep proper documentation. Even where, that's why I mentioned I will ask you to submit the assignment on the GitHub, because nowadays that has become trend. Okay, suppose you are working on the 20 projects, or you are mentioning in your resume, right? So what will happen if you are mentioning 20 projects in your resume? Your resume will become too huge. You will get crazy this way, right? How will you explain everything? What code you have written? Suppose your boss says, okay, I want to see what you have done in your project. So what you will do? You will get crazy. Okay. So what now people do? People, whatever work they do, actually they create their GitHub profile and put it there. They put it there, then GitHub profile, and even in their LinkedIn, they will place their GitHub link. Okay. And somebody wish to go there, just go there and use it. You can check there. So this is now what professionals follow. Whatever coding you will do or whatever projects you will do, you will create your, you can directly publish your Jupyter Notebook onto GitHub profile, right? You can publish there. And let's see, at the same time, everyone, the better looking notebook you create, you will have more viewers. Okay, you will have more likes there. And at the same time, whenever some recruiter will see your GitHub profile, he will see, okay, he has done awesome work, right? He is good in presentation also. Only not the coding, he's very good in presentation also. So it will give you more points in terms of interviews. Okay, so whenever I will ask you to submit any assignment, you will be creating on the Jupyter Notebook and with proper documentation, the way I created. And I'll ask you to submit on your GitHub profile only. Okay, you will submit your project through the GitHub profile so that we can run a software on the same to check the plagiarism. Okay, so I'll ask you to submit your projects not by the hand and something. You will be doing everything typing on the Jupyter Notebook. I hope it is fine, everyone. Are you get an idea how useful this Markdown can be?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes.
remember, it's a good practice. Just use that. Okay, just use that. And we will be working on the code, a huge amount of code, but this is important. I wanted to tell you at the beginning only, so that whenever you are working on something, you can take into the picture this thing. Whatever we have done in this video will be with you. So whatever I have done, okay, that will be in front of you for a reference. Okay, everything is in front of you for the reference. So whenever you want to go, just open that video, see what I have done. Barely, I think 10 to 15 minutes I've explained you this thing. So it will be in your mind. Not huge things I've explained you. I will explain you basic thing which you will be requiring. Okay, for the proper documentation. Let's come now to our main work. Okay, that was required actually to understand.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Uh, so I was writing the same code that you have written. Like, I hope you're equally excited and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Showing an invalid syntax error for the
Ma'am,
first.
ma'am, actually, I think you have not selected the markdown cell. Just select the markdown cell from this position.
Okay.
Okay, I think you have selected the code, if I'm correct. Just check the cell.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Sorry.
oh, no issue, no issue. Make it markdown. Okay,
It's working now. Thank you.
welcome, ma'am. Welcome. Okay. Okay. So any cell you can make markdown, any cell you can make a code. It's entirely your dependency, right? Anything you want to make on. And I tell you the shortcut also, right? Select the cell, press your M to get the markdown, and press Y to get your code. Simple. For example, this is the cell available right now. Right now it is a code cell. Okay, I can see this simple input symbol. Okay, and you can see at the top it is mentioning as a code. I'm just pressing M. See? It has become a markdown, and that input symbol has gone from here. Okay, and again, if I click Y, it is back again. So any cell you can make your code cell or your markdown cell. Okay, that is the way to work. So let me open my notepad. Okay, and let's start our Python journey. Okay, let's start our Python journey. So as we discussed on the very first day also, you can use three very common programming languages. Your MATLAB you can use. Okay, you can use your Python. You can use your R programming language as well, and why we are using the Python. Okay, let's now discuss the features of the Python. Okay, why what makes it special actually. Okay, so features of the Python. Let's come about that. First one. You may be knowing that, but actually I start from the very basics so that I take into the assumption that nobody knows anything about the Python. I always teach this way. Whatever I will teach you, I will not assume that you know even a single thing. That's why my way of delivery is. I assume that we have an absolute amateur in the field available. Okay. So what is a Python? First, very simple thing. You may be thinking that what you are typing, but actually this statement is very important. I'll tell you it will be very important, honestly speaking. Okay. So first of all, Python is what? Is a high level programming language, right? High level programming language. Okay. And you will be writing your Python statement in like a pure English, like in an English statement you will be writing. Understand? You will be writing your statement in the pure English. But actually, the issue is that your machines, if we talk about, okay, your machines understand only what? Numbers. We talk about the machines, they understand only numbers, right? But that too 1 and 0, you can call it as 1 and 0. Okay. But you are writing your Python code in high level programming language, which is what? High level programming language. But your machine understand what? Your machine only understand numbers, that is ones and zeros. So what we need is, it's very much like the same scenario. You are in India, you are going to a country which is where nobody understands the English. Okay, you are writing your program right here in the high level language, and you are sending this program to this place which doesn't understand your high level language. Okay, suppose I'll be honest, I went someday in the Russia, and that was the outskirts of the Russia known as Novosibirsk, right? At that place, actually nobody spoke the English. Barely I found anyone who can speak the English. They can't even understand the English. They can't even speak the English. Okay, it's a Novosibirsk. So what was the problem there? Luckily, I had my smartphone there. I had my smartphone there. Okay, so what I was doing, I was just turning out my Google Translate. I was speaking in the English and try to convert into the Russian. It was getting converted into the Russian. I was showing it to the shopkeepers or everyone whom I want to go. Okay, so that they can understand the language, because I was there. I cannot teach them English, so I have to give them in a manner which they can understand. So obviously, you cannot make your machine learn English or something like that. They've been designed to learn the numbers only, or ones and zeros only, right? They've been designed to learn that way. So what I need, the way I use my Google Translate, in between you will be using what? Translators. Okay, you will be using what? A translator, which will convert your high level language into machine level language. Okay, you will be using your translator to convert your high level language into the machine level language, and very common translators which are available are compilers, and second one is interpreter. Okay, compiler, and second one is interpreter. Okay, first one is compiler and second one is interpreter. And remember, Python is your interpreted language. Python is a interpreted language. It means what it uses? It uses an interpreter, right? It uses an interpreter. I'll come to this point in detail because I need to do practically show you something. Okay, but remember at this point, Python is an interpreted language. I will come in 15 minutes to this point because I need to show you the actual implementation, how the Python code executes. Okay. Third, very important point. Python has combined, understand, has combined the features of both example C and Java. Take it this way. Both C and Java. C is what? C is your procedural language. C is your procedural language, right? And Java is your, anyone idea, everyone? What language Java is? Any idea, everyone? Anyone?
Object oriented.
Yes, yes. This is your object-oriented language. And every kind of language, whether we talk about the procedural language or object-oriented language, has their advantage and disadvantage. So what they have done, they have tried to utilize the advantage of both the procedure-oriented language or procedural language and the object-oriented language. They have done that. And what shall we come to that? Okay. So we can say the Python has the feature of both procedure-based language and the object-oriented language. They have tried to utilize the best of both. Okay. Those who don't know procedure, don't worry. Procedure is what? Nothing but a sequence of instructions. Okay, a sequence of instructions. So whenever we are using procedural based language, what will happen? Understand, your entire task will be divided into a series of steps. Okay, your entire task will be divided into a series of steps which will execute one after the another. For example, I give you a task to open a lock. Okay, open a lock. So of course, to open a lock, there will be a procedure. What? Grab a key. Grab the key of the lock. This is first thing you will do. Then, second, insert the key in the lock. Third step, rotate the key to open the lock. Okay, rotate the key to open. Let me come here, rotate the key to open the lock, right? So can you tell me, if I want to open a lock, can you switch all these things, everything? Can you make it second and make it first and something like that? Or you have to follow this sequence only? Tell me, everyone. This is the sequence you have to follow if you want to open the lock, right or wrong? Please tell me. If a lock is there, how will you open the lock? This is the thing you will follow in the same sequence or not. You will grab the key first of all to open the lock. Then you will insert the key into the lock, and then you will rotate the key to open the lock. So what you did means your task was what? To open a lock. This was my task, right? My task was this, but this task was divided into a sequence of steps. First, this step will happen, then this step will happen, then this step will happen. So what we can say, this is nothing but a procedure to open the lock. Right? This is what? Nothing but a procedure to open the lock. First this, then this, then this, and then this. And this is what we do in the procedure-based language. We create procedures. Your task is divided into a sequence of tasks. Okay, sequence of subtasks. Okay, first we will do this, then we will do this, then we will do this, then we will do this. Means sequence of instructions will be there. Okay, you will have a sequence of instructions, which is nothing but what? A procedure. Nothing but a procedure. A simple procedure means do this, then do this, then do this. Even you join in an organization, right? If you're working even in a faculty member or you are going to join to some organization, first of all, when you will join an organization, they will give you what? A SOP. That is systematic operating procedure. Right? A systematic operating procedure means suppose you want to do something in your organization or you want to get your leave approved, right? So there will be SOP for the same. Your application should go to, you should apply for which? To which person, that person will apply to which person, that person will apply to which person. So there is a SOP available, right? For everything you join an organization, 100% you will receive an SOP. If you want your anything to be done, okay, anything to be done, there should be SOP available. Means a sequence of tasks which you have to do, a sequence of instructions you have to do, right? So that nothing but procedure is what? Nothing but a sequence of instruction. What we do in the your procedural based language, a task is divided into a sequence of subtasks. So first subtask will be completed, then second subtask will be completed, then third subtask will be completed. Ultimately, your task will be completed, right? This is a procedure, right? And now come to this thing. What do you mean by object oriented language? Okay. Okay, and those who are new, please understand every of my word very, very clearly. Object-oriented language, right? And nowadays, everyone is working with the object-oriented language. Huge advantages we are having with the object-oriented language. Huge advantage, right? We have reusability of the code. We have awesome feature of reusability of the code. Okay, I'll tell you within 1 minute. Don't worry. Okay, what do you mean by object-oriented language? Although we will study OOPS very much in detail in the Python, but understand what is object-oriented language. So to understand the object-oriented language, first understand the two concept that is known as class and object. These two are very important concepts. And this is what I found the people who are scared of the OOPs because of class as an object, because they don't understand it properly. If you understand it properly, this is very, 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 very easy thing. Class is an object. Understand this. So what is a class? I will tell you the example with a layman. I consider that you are not a technical people. You will even understand, right? Understand. Class is what? Class is, understand everyone, a blueprint. First of all, class is what? A blueprint from which objects are constructed. Class is a blueprint from which objects are constructed. Next point. Class does not exist physically. Exist physically. Okay. Objects are what? Objects are something which exist physically and are known as instance of the class. So right now, what's maybe seeing technical, don't worry, but I'll explain you in the layman term. Okay. Instance of the class. Let's take an example. What do you mean by that? Different example I will take. Okay. Suppose what you do, there's a God, right? There's a God who has produced every one of us. Okay. He decided that I will create human beings. Okay. He decided that the God is there and who decided that I will create human beings. He decided one thing. Okay. Human beings he want to create. So of course, to create the human being, first of all, he must have something available in mind. What is the blueprint of the human? What is the blueprint of the human means? What properties the humans will possess, and what actions human will be able to perform. Right? What actions the human will be able to perform? Because if God is creating every one of us, He's creating us humans, He's creating dogs, He's creating rabbit, He's creating cat, everything. If you ask to cat, please go to the bank and withdraw the money, can the cat do? Of course not. Right? You are saying, okay, go to, again you are saying to a dog, please do one thing. I'm giving you giving you the fees. I'm paying your fees. Please learn the Python from the sir. Can a dog learn? No. He can't learn this thing, right? So whenever he is creating the species, right? So he should have some blueprint available. Means if I'm going to create a human, what properties the human should possess, okay, and what action he should be able to perform. So when he decided to create the human being, he may use a pen and paper, and he mentioned the attributes. First of all, what attributes the human should possess. So suppose he said every human will have 2 hands, 2 legs, right? 2 legs. He will have 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, right? Something, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes. Similarly, he defines some methods or functions, okay, which human will be able to perform. Methods or functions, whatever you call it that right now. Okay. Suppose what? Human will be able to walk. Human will be able to eat, right? Human will be able to read. Human will be able to read, right? So he decided human will be able to read, means he will be able to read. He will be able to run. Okay. So he decided something. Okay. These are the properties that I will decide. Okay. This will be happening. Okay. Also, he decided one more attributes, example, 2 legs, 2 eyes. He decided, okay, human will have range, means height in this particular range, the humans will be having height range. Something like this he decided. Okay. So once he decided, so whatever he has decided, this is what a blueprint actually. This is what a blueprint. And now from this blueprint, what he did, he created humans. So who is the human? Suppose me. Whom he created? They created Praveer Saxena. And Praveer Saxena possess all these attributes and he's able to perform all the methods and functions which has been designed in the blueprint. So what I will be known, Praveer Saxena actually exists now. I am the Praveer Saxena. I physically exist, right? So I am what? Praveer Saxena is an object of human class, right? So this blueprint that you have created, this is what? This is the blueprint of human being class or human class. So this is your blueprint from which actual Praveer Saxena has been considered. I can be saying Praveer Saxena is an object of human class or instance of the human class. Similarly, there's someone else in your class, example, Ravi. Ravi Shah. Okay, he's also human, right? He's also a human. And how do you recognize he's a human? Whenever you're going to the road, how you recognize, okay, I can see a human there? How? By looking at his attributes. He has 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 ears, everything you can recognize. You can say, okay, this is a human. This is a human. How you're recognizing him? He's a human by his attributes, right? Or by his action, what he's performing. But actually, he physically exists. He physically exists, right? So Ravi Shah also physically exists. So Ravi Shah is again can be called as is an object of human class. So I mentioned here, see what? Objects are something which exist physically and are known as instance of the class. And they will possess the attributes and the methods of corresponding class. That is important thing. They will possess the attributes and the method of the corresponding class. Okay, so objects are what? Objects are something which exists physically and are known as instance of the class. They will possess the attributes and the methods of the corresponding class. So which class we belong to? We belong to the human class, right? We belong to the human class. Does the human thing exist anywhere? What is human? Human is what? A class. Class what? A blueprint, which should have these attributes available. This does not exist physically. This is just a blueprint, right? Just a blueprint. Very much like you go to an architect, okay, and you say that I want to build a building, sir. So what architect will do first of all, everyone? He will create a map, right or wrong? There we will have a drawing room. There we will have a 1 bedroom. Here we will have a 2nd bedroom. Here we will have a toilet attached. Here we will have a kitchen. Here we will have a hall. So that is what? Blueprint. That is a class. And from that blueprint, what you can do? You can construct your actual building. You know, actual building will become what, everyone? When it exists physically, what we will call that actual building? Will it be a class or will it be object when the building is constructed? What will be known as?
Object.
Yes, object, right? And it will have everything that you mentioned in that map. Similarly, tell me. Now you can answer me, okay? I'm writing 3 terms. One term is dog. One term is Bruno, okay? Another term is, suppose like this, dog, Bruno, and again, Tommy, okay? And suppose these 3 are sufficient, okay? Suppose this is the thing. 3 terms are there, dog, Bruno, Tommy. And now understand, Bruno is a dog of my name, means the dog, I'm having a pet, his name is Bruno. You are also having a dog whose name is Tommy. Can you tell me among these 3, okay, what is the class and what is an object? Everyone, among these 3 terms, what is the class and what is an object?
Dog is class.
Yes, dog is a class. And Bruno?
Object.
Yes, why? Because it exists physically, right? And it
Yeah.
possesses all the attributes in the method which the dog class can have. So similarly, the way dog created, so the God created humans, dog also created a class known as dog class, right? He also decided, okay, every dog will have following attributes. Some attributes, right? Like what? He will have this time 4 legs. He will have 1 leg, sorry, 1 tail, right? 2 ears, something like this, okay? And methods, what he can, or functions, what he can perform, what? He will be able to eat. He will be able to sleep. He will be able to, can he talk? No, he will be able to bark, right? He will be able to run, something like this. He possesses the property. Similarly, in attributes, you mean dog will have some height range, some width range, something like that. Okay, so this is the blueprint, means dog should have these properties and they should be able to perform this much method. Okay, from this blueprint, the God created dogs. So dog is what? Bruno. He's my dog, which physically exists. So Bruno is what? Object of dog class, right? Similarly, Tommy is what? Object of dog class. Let me take one more example, right? They will understand. Suppose again, I'm writing 3 words: cat, okay, and Tinny. Suppose the name of a cat which actually exists, right? Which actually exists, and any other name you can give, Lita. Okay, see, cat, Tinny, and Lita, right? Lita again is a cat of someone which actually exists. Tinny is again a name of a cat which actually exists, and cat a name I give. Okay, so now can you tell me which is object and which is class here?
Sir,
Cat
cat
is class and
class.
tiny and litter objects.
Yes, perfect, perfect, absolutely perfect. Man, we can say that here what cat is what a class, right? And tiny and lita are objects. Okay, and as I mentioned, importantly, they will possess the attributes and method of the corresponding class. Okay, and God has also given us some additional feature, right? Okay, I will have two eyes, two hands, everything. Have you seen the Three Idiots movie? There was a principal, I don't know what was the name, Virus. Yes, Virus. He had the capability to write from both the hands at the same time, right? So what you can do, you want to add some additional attributes, it's your choice. So in objects, if you want to add further attributes, yes, I can add. Okay, I will possess the attributes in the matter of the corresponding class. Fine, I'm a human, so I will possess the attributes in the method which have been there for the human class, but I can incorporate additional attributes in myself. I can incorporate additional functions in myself. That is the power of your object oriented language, right? And as I told you how advantage it is, see advantage, see this way, the class and object, okay, has important property of inheritance here. You will see that inheritance. What is this inheritance? Very, very huge inheritance. With the help of inheritance, what you can do, you can use code reusability. You can inherit the properties of one class into the another class. You can inherit the property of one class into another class. Example, let me take a simple example. Again, a simple example, right? In my college, I created a class known as staff class. Okay, so every staff will have some properties. What? He will have a name. He will withdraw some salary, right? He will withdraw some salary, and he definitely will belong to some department, right? So I created one class which will have e-name, salary, and department. Okay. Similarly, I want to create one more what we can call it as a class known as department. Okay. Again, in the department, every person will have some name, right? And every person will have what? Some salary available. So I want to inherit the property of this staff class into the department class. So yes, I can inherit that. Okay, without writing the extra piece of code. Without writing the extra piece of code, I can inherit the property of one class into the another class. This is known as inheritance, right? I can inherit the properties of one class into the another class. So I don't have to write again a huge amount of code. So code reusability becomes very, very good in this. Also, at the same time, security is very good. You can show to the user only the code that you want. We have an important property here known as abstraction. Okay, abstraction in the your object oriented concept, we have an important property known as again abstraction, showing only necessary details or hiding unnecessary details. Hiding unnecessary details. For example, you go to purchase a car, right? When you go to the purchase a car, what they have done, they show you everything. What? Please open the seat. Okay, see sir, what is the luxury? Please sir, have a ride. Okay, they will show you how much comfort it is. Sir, it is having Bluetooth connectivity. Sir, it is having cruise control. Okay, sir, it is having automatic gear. It had happened that you went for a car, they opened the bonnet and tried to show you, please see, this is the carburetor, this is the oil filter. From this, the oil filter will go here. Did this happen ever to you? You went to purchase a car. Everyone, tell me. Did it ever happen that they opened the bonnet and they tried to explain you everything? This is the carburetor, this is the oil filter, right? And your fuel will come from here to here, and there's something they try to explain. This is the spark plug. This has ever happened? Everyone, tell me.
No.
Right? Why?
No, sir.
Because this is not meaningful for you. You are a driver of a car. You are not a mechanic, right? So what they did, they hide unnecessary things in the what? Bonnet. They hide what? Unnecessary things in the bonnet. That is important for not for you. This is important for a mechanic. Right? So when you go to purchase a car, what did they hide the unnecessary details inside the bonnet. Similarly, in your object-oriented programming, we can take the advantage of abstraction. We can hide the unnecessary details that we don't want to show to the user. So your code becomes more secure. Okay, that's why everyone is nowadays rushing towards the object-oriented language. Huge impact it is going to you are going to see in the future. First, tell me everyone, is it clear what is a class and what is an object?
Yes.
Others,
Yes, sir.
everyone, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
I have explained the simplest possible manner, right? And remember, class ever exists? Somebody asked you, no, class does not exist. Class is just a blueprint, but object actually exists. Okay, object actually exists. Now move ahead. Third property of the Python. I think it's fourth, but I will come to the second back again. Python is is a dynamically typed language. Dynamically typed language. What do you mean by that? Dynamically typed language, right? What do you mean by that, right? Suppose see, suppose you are using a C programming language, okay? And you declare a variable there. How you declare a variable? You define this way, int, suppose a variable A, right? This is the way we do. This kind of declaration actually is known as static declaration or statically typed. What will happen? Now you define that I have a variable A whose data type should be what? Integer, okay? In the future, if I want to assign A is equal to 10, will it be permitted, everyone? Will it be permitted in the C programming language? If I mention int A, means A should be integer type. I mention A is equal to 10. So will it be allowed?
Yes.
Yes,
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 sir.
yes. It is an integer, right? Because it's a whole number, right? Suppose I mention A is equal to a text. Hello, will it be allowed?
No.
No,
Yes,
sir.
not allowed. Because what you have done, you have made it statically typed. You mentioned that A should be integer, right? You mentioned A should be integer. So A can have only and only what value? Integer value. This is your statically typed, but Python is what, remember what I mentioned, dynamically typed. First thing is better. The beauty of the Python is that you don't have to specify the data type first of all. Okay, I can mention like A is equal to 10 directly, no problem. Python will automatically understand what kind of data it is, depending upon what data you pass here. What data you pass here, automatically understand, okay, A is equal to 10, it is an integer data type. You don't have to specify int A, no, right? And within the same program, in the next line, you can mention again A is equal to hello without any problem. This way, without any problem, it will accept this without any throwing an error. This time, this variable A will hold a string data type. And again, the same problem. I can move ahead. I can mention A is equal to 10.2, which is a float data type. Again, permitted. Right? So you can have in the same program A is equal to 10 integer data type with the same variable, right? A here, hello, string data type allowed. A is equal to 10.2. What? Floating point allowed. It is what? Dynamically typed means when you move to the code, when I'm assigned 10, it will take, okay, A will be integer. When in the next line, in the further code, you mention somewhere A is equal to hello, it will take what? String data type. Now A will become a string data type. Now if you move ahead, again, A is equal to 10.2, it will become a float data type, right? That's why it is what? A dynamically typed language, not a statically typed language. Okay, and we'll practically see that. Let me come to the Jupyter Notebook. Okay, and let me increase the font a bit. Yeah, that is fine. And let me insert further more cells. Let me come here. Okay, let me take the example. What I did, A is equal to 10. Okay, and let me execute different ways we know. Remember what was those? Anyone can recall?
Alt enter, print enter, control enter.
Alt enter. Very good. Next.
Control enter.
Very good. And
shift
enter.
enter.
Right? Three methods for this. So any we can use, or you can click on the run as well. It's your choice. Suppose I'm pressing control plus enter. Okay, or shift plus enter, whatever you want to execute. Okay, just ensure that you have a code cell here, right? Done. Okay, and now let me check the type. What data type A belongs to? Okay, so there is an inbuilt function known as type. Inbuilt function known as type. Okay, you have to just in the parentheses pass that A. Okay, that check what data type this variable is holding. Let me execute this, or we can press directly control plus enter or shift plus enter. Done. What it is holding? Integer. Okay, now come ahead. I'm mentioning again. A is equal to this time, suppose I'm mentioning hello. Okay, as I told you in Python, whenever I will be using string, I will be using either a single quote or a double quote. Both are permitted. Let me execute this again. Shift plus enter. Executed, right? Perfectly. Let me again check the type of this. Type parentheses pass A. Shift plus enter. This time it is string. Again move ahead. A is equal to 10.2. Execute shift plus enter. Done. Let me check the type of this. Again execute. What is this? Float. Right? So it is dynamically typed. You have, first of all, you don't have to specify any type. Okay, this is the data type available. Automatically it will take depending upon what data you are passing to the variable. Okay, what data you're passing to the variable. This is what you're dynamically type. Now let me come back to the second point that we were discussing here. Python is an interpreted language. Okay, let me come here because I need to show you some executions as well. That is important. As we discussed, we will have two kind of translators, compiler and interpreter. Okay, but both behave actually differently. Both behave differently. How? Come here. Suppose I'm talking about the compiler for now. And in suppose what happened, you have some set of instructions which are available. Suppose instruction 1 and then instruction 2 in a program, instruction 2, and then suppose instruction 3. Right? The purpose is clear. What they do, they convert your high level language into a low level language, right? Or a machine level language, whatever you want to call it as. It's your choice. You can call it as low level language, low level language. This is the main purpose, right? So how the compiler does, understand, compiler will check the syntax of I1. Okay, compiler will check the syntax of I1. I repeat again and again, understand everyone. Compiler will check the syntax of I1. If it is okay, it will move to the next line. Check the syntax of I2. If it is okay, move to the next line. Check the syntax of I3. If the syntax of all three are correct, means there is no error at all. Syntax of I1 is fine, syntax of I2 is fine, syntax of I3 is fine, then your complete program will be converted into what? Your low level language or machine level language. Right? So it will check the syntax of I1, I2, and I3. Okay. If all three are error free, there is no syntactical error, 100% error free, means there is no error in I1. This is complete program. What I'm talking, this is complete program. Okay, which you are compiling, and in compiling you have three instructions: instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3. Three instructions are there, and you are executing them. Right? You're executing them. Then what will happen? If none of the instruction is having any error, your compiler will convert your program into a low level language. But in case any of the instruction is having a single error, any of the instruction is having an error, remember, your program will not be converted into the low level language. Okay, if any of the instruction, whether I1, I2, I3, any of the instruction is having an error, your program will not be converted into the low level language. Okay, and the low level language that it converts is actually known as your what? Object code. Is known as your object code, which is converts, and once you execute it, actually gets saved. So next time, suppose same program you are running, okay, next program you are running, and you have not made any changes in your original program, I1, I2, I3, you just compiled. So object code is generated, it will get saved into your memory. And suppose you have not made any changes into your program will directly run from the object code. So one process will become faster here. Directly it will run from the object code. Okay. Similarly, now come to the interpreter this time. Interpreter. What it will do? Again, same program I'm passing. I1, I2, I3. Okay. And what it does, understand. Here, what happened? Your entire program was converted into the low level language, right? After checking the instruction of the syntax of every instruction, if everything was error free, then every entire program get converted into the low level language. But how interpreter works? It works line by line actually. Okay. It will come to the line 1. It will check its syntax. If this syntax is error free, okay, it will be converted into the low level language. Okay, and it will send for the execution. And this instruction will be executed. Right? This instruction will be immediately executed. Similarly, I move to the second line. Okay, and suppose this is also error free. So again, same thing will happen. If this is error free, that means what? Converted into the low level language and send for the execution. That means it will be executed. Similarly, I come here. Again, it is error free. Again, example. Again, this will be converted into the low level language. It will be executed. Right? Fine. So line by line checks. But suppose what happens? First line is error free. Then it got converted into the low level language and got executed. Fine. Perfectly fine. It got executed perfectly fine. But suppose second line is having error, means there is error available. There is an error available, right? This is error available. So now what will happen? The conversion will not happen. Even when it is conversion will not happen, it will not be executed. You will stop here only. Okay, you won't go even to the next instruction anymore. You won't go even to the next instruction anymore. That means only your first instruction will be executed. It will stop at the second instruction itself, because what happened? We get an error here. Okay, we get an error here. So your first line will be executed only, and second line will not be executed. Even your third line will not be executed, because my error come here and it runs in the sequential way, right? So first line, then second line, then third line. So error is was the second line, so it will stop immediately here. It will stop immediately here. Even your next line will not be checked. It will stop immediately here, right? But in case of interpreter, what happened? Remember, your first line got executed, right? But in compiler happens what? If your entire program is error free, then only conversion will happen, and then your code will be executed. This is the difference. Now let me show you practically this, at least interpreter part, because we can show that in the Python, right? So let me come here and let me write some syntax like print hello, which is syntactically right, right? And I'm putting now next instruction, print hello, intentionally wrong. Okay, so first one is right, second one is wrong. First one is right, second one is wrong. If I would have run such instruction with the help of compiler, then what would happen? I would not get any result, because there was an error in the second instruction. And what compiler does, compiler checks in the entire program. If there is no error, then I will convert it to the low level language, then I will execute. But I'm working with a Python, which is an interpreted language, right? Which is an interpreted language. It checks line by line. So it will check first line, okay? First line, okay, it is error free, no problem, convert it to low level language, execute it, right? So it will execute. When it will do the second line, then it will come to know, okay, there is an error, stop it. Okay, right now, suppose I mention another line, which is correct now. Third line, which is hello. So logically, can you tell me how many times I will see hello?
One time.
Only one time. Very good. Only one time, because you understand the logic, right? So first instruction will be taken. It will be checked. Okay, syntax is perfect. Convert into the low level language and send for the execution. It will be executed. Hello will come. Move to the second line. Immediately file an error. Oh, there is an error. Stop here. So even next line will not be checked. Okay, let me execute. You will get only one time hello. Can you see everyone? And next I got an error. Tell me everyone, is it fine?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, so understand how it works. Now let me move ahead and the same thing. Let's understand the core execution, how the Python program is actually getting executed. Okay, Python program, how actually Python program gets executed. Suppose I write my Python code. Okay, any Python program I wrote. So first of all, what will happen? Understand, a piece of software will be used, which is known as actually your Python compiler. Okay, Python compiler, which will take your high level language code, that is a Python code that you have written, and convert into a intermediate code. Okay, which is known as actually byte code, because there every instruction will be of 1 byte size, that is 8-bit size. Okay, what it does, when you will execute your Python file, okay, when you will you execute your Python file, right? At that time, first of all, a Python compiler will be called. Understand? Python compiler will be called, which will convert your high level language into an intermediate code, which is known as a byte code. Right? A byte code. Now what happens? This byte code is passed to another piece of software. This byte code is passed to another piece of software, which is known as PVM, Python Virtual Machine, which actually consists of your interpreter. Okay, or let me do one thing. Let me come here because it will be space. So this byte code will be passed to what? A piece of software known as PVM, Python Virtual Machine. Okay, Python Virtual Machine, which basically consists of what? Interpreter. Okay, which basically consists of your interpreter. Right now, what happens? See, as I'm running this Python code on my system, right? I am having Core i5 processor. I'm having some Windows operating system, right? And if you people are from computer science background, or you people are from EC background, you know that every processor have actually a different instruction set. Have you people studied microprocessor? Anyone?
Yeah.
Right? So you must have an idea. Every processor actually have a what? Different instruction set. So what we need to convert my high level language actually into a code which my processor can understand, right? And my operating system can understand. So how this Python virtual machine will do that? it will convert this byte code, which is the intermediate code, into a low level language code and execute that low level language specific to my system and execute that. How it does? This PVM actually interacts with what? My operating system, because my operating system knows everything, right? My operating system knows everything about my system. For example, if I come here, this PC, if I click on properties, can you see? Intel Core i5, this. Installed RAM, 16 GB. Okay, this is the hardware, right? This is the hardware which is available. RAM is a hardware. Your processor is a hardware. Okay, how this is visible here? My operating system is interacting with that, and this is how you get the updates also, right? Depending upon your hardware specifications, okay, whatever your hardware specification, your update comes of the drivers as well. Windows send the driver updates to you. How? Because Windows operating system knows everything about your hardware. What is your hardware? So my PVM, that is Python virtual machine, actually interacts with what? Actually interacts with my operating system, which has every information available about which processor that person is running. Tell me. Okay, and accordingly your PVM will convert that your intermediate code, which is what? Your byte code. This byte code into the low level language, which will be able to run on my system. If you run on your system, it will be done according to your system requirement. You may having a core to duo processor, dual core processor, or you may have a A6 processor in terms of Apple, if you're talking about. Right? So this not that this Python virtual machine actually interacts with what? This Python virtual, Python virtual machine or PVM, it interacts with what? My operating system, and it comes to know, okay, what is the specification on the system. Accordingly, it will convert your byte code into a low level language. And how it does? Simple, line by line, because it is an interpreter. And according to this, actually, it has been decided. Ultimately, what is happening? Your code is going to be converted into a low level language line by line. So what is the operation? This is the interpreter. This is one of the drawback of the Python as well. It's slower. Why slower? Because it uses an interpreter. Line by line checking, then execution, line by line checking, then execution, line by line check, and execution. Okay. So some people have been working on the same. And Python is what? Remember, it's open source. Anyone idea what is the open source, everyone?
Something that is available for free to everyone.
No. Actually, that is known as freeware.
Sir, the source code is available.
Yes. That is the main thing. Means that's a source code. Source code. Okay. Means any software can be called as an open source if it is freely available for distribution and modification. Means a source code is available directly to you for distribution or modification. Similarly, you know the Linux operating system, right? That is what also open source. Okay, and several people make modification in that. Okay, somebody makes a modification, they are giving Debian, somebody is giving Ubuntu, somebody is giving Mint, different, they do some modification in that source code, give it their own operating system. So what is happening? Same thing. Python is a open source. That means their source code is freely available, right? So people do some modification in that. They add runtime library into that. Okay, runtime compiler. Sorry, they add runtime compiler so that it becomes a little bit faster. Okay, let me show you that example. There is a little modification in the Python available known as pypy. Google pypy. Can you see, everyone? Pypy is an alternative implementation of Python programming language to the C Python. Pypy often runs faster than the C Python because your standard programming, your standard Python is based on the C Python, right? So it is saying Pypy often runs faster than the C Python because Pypy uses just in-time compiler, right? So what happened? This is an open source. So people are doing some modification, okay, into on original source code which is available, and they are launching your own. And you don't know, in the 15 years or in the next 10 years to come, you may do some modification of your own, and you may launch your own operating system or your own programming language, something like that. Okay, so what they do, they employ the in-time compiler is there, just in-time compiler. They are adding to that. Right? So different modifications, not only pypy, there are different variants which are available, but although everything has some limitations available, so mostly people go for the standard Python only, right? So this is how actually it works. Understand? It will take your Python code, okay? Then it will use a Python compiler. Then this Python compiler will convert your high level language code into the intermediate code. That code will be known as byte code. Why it is calling as a byte code? Because here every instruction will be of 1 byte size. That's why it is calling as a byte code. Then this byte code will be converted into the low level language by what? By Python virtual machine. Okay, which consists of interpreter. Okay, and it will interact with your operating system. It will interact with your operating system and will come to know, okay, what is the processor which is running here. And when the processor it knows, then accordingly it converts your byte code, okay, line by line, because it is what? Interpreter, into a low level language which it sends for the execution. Then it gets executed. And tomorrow we will see this byte code as well. What is the byte code? How we can normally this process is not visible to you. Okay, normally this process is not visible. This happens internally actually. This happens internally, but I'll show you this file actually. This bytecode that you will get, this bytecode extension is actually .pyc file, Python compiled file. Normally it is not visible. Okay, it happens on internally, but actually what happens, the professional programmers who are working on large projects in the Python, they used to share among each other .pyc file only to save the time. Because even suppose you are working in a research space application where even a nanosecond matters, so you want to save your time, because what it is one step, no? You will give your Python code, then it will be converted into the intermediate code, then that intermediate code will be converted to the row level language code. So there is a 2-step. So if you're directly passing this file, that means you are saving 1 step. If you're giving directly this file, which this file can also be directly executed. This file can be directly executed if you have PVM installed at your system. And whenever we install the Python, automatically PVM gets installed at our system. You don't have to worry about it. Automatically it gets installed at the system, right? So if you're sharing the directly .pyc file, then you are saving 1 step here. So even as I said, nanosecond matters in the applications, some space applications, something where a nanosecond can make a disaster. Okay. So tomorrow we will see how, although directly it is not visible, directly if you execute Python code, this process will not be visible to you, which is happening internally. Means you will not be able to see .pyc file normally. It happens internally. But tomorrow I'll show you, because the time is done right now, how to get this pyc file. Is it fine, everyone? Can I end for the day if it is okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So can I end, everyone? Thank you. Thanks for the time. Any doubt anyone is having?
Sir, while sharing the recordings, can we have the title of the recording displayed or indicated?
Sir, actually, but okay, I'll do that. No issue. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Sir, no problem.
My
In the
only
in the
request so
in the
that
in the
when
in the
we
folder
speak
I will put, sir. In the folder itself, the folder name I will put. Right, sir?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. No issue. I'll do that. Okay. Okay. Bye bye. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.